Yo, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to the still unnamed podcast, y'all. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna name this, y'all. But this is Foods and Medicine, you guys. And we are super excited to introduce our new guest today. We've actually been screening through your guys' comments and messages and everything, and like y'all have given us some pretty good suggestions for names. So we're in the finals of figuring out what that's gonna be. But anyways, Alexis, my homie. You want to help me introduce the homie?
Absolutely. I would love to help you introduce our guest for today. We've been super excited to have this gentleman. He comes by the way of Georgia.
Hey, it's Captain America, bro.
Wait, I haven't introduced him yet, fool.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Yeah, I'm getting to who he is. Coming by the way of Georgia, he's from the South. I'll let him get a little bit more into it. But this fool has a very, very crazy, interesting story that I can't wait for all you guys to hear about. He grew up in Georgia. His parents immigrated from Mexico and worked in the fields as farmers. He originally lived in a farm camp, and I'll let him elaborate more on that. But then moved to a small town in Georgia. And this man went to South Point. You know, he wanted to join the military. He wanted to be in the army, but he had a change of plans. And do you know where he went after that, Irvin?
I think we should just have him tell us.
Well, we are definitely going to have him tell us. But he went to Harvard University, y'all. Harvard, okay? This man is a neurologist at UCLA now, training to become a great, great doctor for our gente out there. And I'm very, very proud of this man, and I'm very excited to have him speak to us today.
All right. So you guys might know this guy on Instagram as Captain America. But to us, Dr. Juarez.
Or Eric. Dr. Eric Juarez.
I go by
Dr.
Eric.
Juarez.
Yeah,
Please
everyone,
introduce
please,
yourself.
let's give this guy a big, man, proud of this guy. Proud of you, bro.
Appreciate it. Well, they call you what? Primo Irvin? A big foo, right? Thanks for having me here. It's an honor. I look up to you guys too as well, and all the efforts that you guys have made to reach out to our community, our raza, in an interesting way, in a novel way, but also like in an appropriate way, like that's consistent with the times through social media and whatever. I feel like the things that y'all have done over the past year and a half have been like inspirational and much needed, because we see a lot of people out here in medicine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But up until I came across you guys' page, like I hadn't seen like someone like me in medicine or a page like reflecting that. In other words, I haven't seen like foods in medicine. So I feel like you guys have filled in this void, and you know, I'm happy to be here to kind of share a little bit about my story here. But yeah, like Alexis said, born and raised in the South, small town. My folks are from, let's put it this way, like a rancho. Son campesinos del Estado de Mexico. They were like, my dad's like the oldest of 10. My mom's the oldest of 10. Like my grandparents, like they essentially grew up without electricity. They grew up without electricity, and like they kind of sustained themselves on sustenance farming. And the rancho, you know, like fucking herding like goats and stuff, and like planting seeds and making their own food kind of stuff. And
Definitely.
you know, that's what my folks grew up on, and they were like the first, each the oldest of 10 people. And like of course, like because they were the oldest of like 10 siblings, they didn't really have, you know, too many chances to like fulfill their own needs, like self-actualization. So they kind of had to stop. They had to stop school early to you know, take care of their siblings, take care of their families. And so my mom, God bless her, she has like a 3rd grade education. She's the smarter of the two. And then my dad has like a 1st grade education. And, you know, like probably many of y'all, like you, Irvin, you, Alexis, and, you know, the folks listening to here, like, you know, my story after that kind of reflects that of y'all, in that my folks, like in the late 80s, my dad made the tough choice to essentially want a better life for myself or for his future kids and for his family, his parents. And so he immigrated essentially illegally across the Rio Grande in the late 80s with the coyote and everything, right? The whole shebang, right? And he made it to Texas. He unfortunately got sent back a few times before eventually going back, immigrating, crossing the Rio Grande successfully, albeit, without papers and everything. That he got there and one way or another was able to kind of hustle himself and eventually brought my mom along with him stateside. And then they were able to get amnesty through Ronald Reagan's Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986. So that kind of made all the difference, right? My folks got their green card. And then I say unfortunately right now because when I was growing up, where I grew up in the South, there aren't too many Latinos. So I say unfortunately they they didn't immigrate to like California, or they didn't stay in Texas, or they didn't go to like La Florida or anything like that. They ended up they followed like the harvest season as seasonal farm workers. And so they ended up in middle of nowhere, deep rural South Georgia, in a small town that you were alluding to, Alexis. And so that's where my story began. I was born in a farm worker camp, como de seasonal farm workers, mostly tomato pickers, including my parents. And that's where my folks decided to just kind of plant their roots there in that farm worker camp in deep southwest Georgia. Like the nearest big town was like 10 minutes away, but even then it was like
give your town a shout out, bro. What's the name of your small town?
It's called the small town where the farm worker camp was outside of it's called Atapogos. But then, like in middle school, we moved into town, a town of like 10,000 people. It's called Bainbridge, which probably not too many of y'all have heard of. Not even a whole lot of people in Georgia have heard of. So to put it into context, that where I was born and raised, it's about the nearest city is like the capital of Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, which I don't know, like home of the Florida State Seminoles. T-Pain is from there, right? But yeah, that's what I grew up knowing during my childhood. And if I can get a little more detailed, you asked me, were there a lot of Latinos? Not really, maybe 1% to 2%. And of those, it fluctuated because a lot of these people were like seasonal farm workers. So they went in and out the South, to include my parents, until they stayed there. And for the most part, I was raised amongst like black folks and white folks, Southern whites and Southern blacks. And so it was a unique experience for me as a Chicano in the South, growing up in an area where not a whole lot of people, looked like me. And it really kind of, from an early age, especially elementary school, it molded me who I was. My elementary school was like 95% rural Southern black people. And they were all free, reduced lunch. And so they were a lot of them were poor, right? And the older I got, the older I realized that these people are descendants of the American South, of slaves. A lot of them were the descendants of slaves, my black peers in elementary school. So it took me a while to realize that, because obviously I'm a little chimuelo, just didn't know any better.
You were young.
I was young. Exactly. But then I realized that, and definitely it helped me make me into who I was, and it helped me get to know, at the very least, the Southern black community pretty well. And then I moved into town. Into Bainbridge, right? And because, I don't know, the good Lord blessed me with, I guess not necessarily a genius mind. He blessed me with a hard work ethic that I got from my parents, but I was able to apply that work ethic not necessarily to the fields, because my dad, my papi, mommy didn't want that for me. But I applied it to the books. And so in elementary school, I got, I guess, identified as gifted. And then I get put in the top classes in elementary school and middle school. And, unsurprisingly, the top classes in rural public school systems are mostly white people.
So in summary, bro, you're a smart ass fool.
No, I'm not a smart. I mean, yeah, I guess I am a smart ass fool.
You're a gifted ass fool.
I'm a hardworking fool.
A hardworking fool, y'all.
I'm a hardworking fool.
Yeah. All right, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
You gotta take it for what it is, bro.
Yeah.
You're smart ass fool. Congratulations on all
Thank
that.
you.
Hearing your story, honestly, is very inspiring. I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate. And believe it or not, bro, like you never know who's watching this, right?
Yeah.
Someone from the South, someone that might know your town,
Yeah.
someone who might be from your town. Who knows, right? So I think it's very powerful when you sharing that, naming your towns and all that, and showing your pride in how
Yeah.
you grow up. You grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of where I am. Like, yeah, not a whole lot of people have heard about it, right? Not a whole lot of Latinos from the South. 10% of Georgia are Latino, but most of them are Atlanta, like Metro Atlanta, right? So that even makes me more of an anomaly, if you will. But wherever I go, I always rep where I'm from. Like that's one of the first things people get to know about me. Yeah, I'm Latino. I'm a proud Latino, as proud as they come. But I'm also from the South, and I'm proud of it. And it's not necessarily when people think of, especially out here in the West Coast, people think the South. It's racist and all that shit. I mean, yeah, you see a little bit of racism for sure, but not in the ways you think, right? And so I try to do my best to dispel those myths, to kind of picture it as a better place than a lot of people kind of negatively stereotype it as.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's crazy, bro, because like, when you're describing where you grew up and stuff, I've never really been to the South except for actually like one of the times we kicked it, y'all. I mean, there's a little bit of lore behind, us, I guess. Actually, I don't know if we mentioned this, but this dude's a neurologist, y'all. He's a whole ass doctor.
Yeah.
And I actually met this dude when I was doing my neurology rotation.
Yeah, I was gonna say this guy was my medical student.
Yeah, this guy was literally I was on stroke, you guys. So it was like neurology, like the stroke team. So anytime there's like a code stroke and all that stuff, like we'd be the response team, right? And then this fool like shows up one day and he's just like, "Oh, look, it's the fusion medicine."
I was hype as fuck, man. It was like, whoa. Like, this is like serendipity, man.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, perfect timing. Like,
And I remember, I was just trying to be a medical student. And like, like when you're a medical student on rotation, you're kind of like shy or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you're like, you want to stand out. You want to be good, whatever. Just be on your best behavior. And like this dude comes in, he's like, "Oh, foods and medicine. Y'all know this guy's famous. Y'all know this guy's famous." And the whole team is like, I was so embarrassed. Like the whole team was like, "What?
he was
What's
trying
going on?" Like
he was trying to pre-round, right? Like a good medical student. Then I walk up in there like half of sleep, like, and then I saw him, I lit up, and like, I had to hype him up, right? Because I know it's tough, and that's part of the reason why these fools created are they who they are. They want to represent for our raza. So, but yeah, no, I wanted to show him right then and there that one, I knew who he was, and then two, that he had an ally there, right?
which was cool, you guys. Like seriously, like in medicine, and this, but like there's not much representation out there, like at all, y'all. Like, how many people from your upbringing, bro, who have a parent who only went through third grade or first grade, whatever? Like, how many people of those, like people from that background, do you see like as your peers right now, as a neurologist, as a whole ass doctor? Yeah, it's not seen, y'all. Like you don't see that. But then you look at us three, bro. Hey, how many of you like did your? I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like did your parents go to college or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, like mine also. They dropped out in like 9th grade. Both of them. None of them went to college, man. So it's like this is something you don't see in these spaces, y'all. Like we are so underrepresented, and honestly, like I'm proud of each one of you guys. That we, regardless of that, you guys like we made it here and all that stuff. But anyways, like being there on stroke team, which was actually hard. I remember it was at least like 11 to 12-hour days for med students, y'all. And damn, these residents, bro, like they work way more than the med student, right? Like if I'm there for 11 hours, how long are you there?
Maybe 2 or 3 more hours.
Yeah, guys. Like
we let them off early, so.
Yeah.
He did well. I was proud of him. And we had I think she's black, half Indian. We had a half black, half Indian attending. One of my favorite attendings. She's now like the director of the UCLA Stroke Center. But I'm happy that Irvin had that experience for him. Like he did well. You know, he showed out. He showed out.
You're talking about the interventional radiologist?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
Dr.
okay,
Sharma.
so that was so dope, y'all. Like, um, it's just so cool seeing that, um, like when I was on stroke team, I don't know, like you would just be sitting there and you're like eating your lunch or whatever. And then you know more about this than me, obviously, but we'd be sitting there like chopping it up, eating lunch or whatever. And then like the pager goes off and it's like, okay, like someone's on their way here. They'll be here in 3 minutes, whatever. And we just drop whatever you're doing. Nothing in the world matters. Doesn't matter if you ate your food or not. Like you are rushing down to the ER and you're evaluating this patient like right on the spot, like trying to get all the information, doing all the neuro exam for the stroke that, that they might have, because time is brain, right? Like that's what they say, right? Time is brain. Like and you know way more about this than me, but like basically every minute that you wait when someone has a stroke, like you're losing brain matter, y'all. So, hopefully, I mean, maybe we'll come out with a video because this is super important, like to recognize the signs of stroke, y'all. Because damn, like you can be sitting there and it's weird because it's like something that is not necessarily painful, right? Like it could just be like your droopy face or something, and that can be like you losing your brain. So that was an insane time for me to like go through that rotation. And it was dope to have you there, to come through and be like, oh, damn, like, look, I'm not alone, y'all. Like, damn, like, this guy is hyping me up, but shit, like, it's cool. He was watching out for me, man. That was super dope because we really don't have much representation out here, especially UCLA stroke team, neurology, man. You don't see that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, bro, I know coming from like small town and all that stuff and your upbringing. I also came from a small town. Also grew up working in agriculture. The transition for me to college was a trip, y'all. So what about you, man? Like, can you, before we get to the medical stuff, like, how was your transition from literally Georgia to Harvard? Harvard University, y'all. This dude went to Harvard.
Shut up, Urban. No. I mean, no. I take it.
No, fool, you gotta accept that because I mean, how many? You know what I'm
better
saying?
than
Like,
us, bro.
Bro, like who doesn't in the world know what Harvard is, and not only that, bro, but like, it's very inspiring and motivating, especially for the young fools out there seeing this, because we have high schoolers that watch this, right, and going to Harvard, right, it just shows this exemplary image of what a student is and what it can be, right? And someone coming from the upbringing that you did, going to Harvard University, where a lot of people might think, oh no, there's no way you did that, right? So we commend you, right, as peers and just as friends, that like, bro, what you did, we're very proud of you for that.
And there's a difference, bro, between like, you have your parents went to Harvard, your whole family went to Harvard, and you're just like, a legacy child or whatever. And you grew up with tutors and a super educated household with money and everything. There's a difference between that and you literally came from the fields of Georgia, fool. The fields of Georgia, bro, to Harvard. There's a huge difference, bro.
No, I mean, thank you. I often I mean, it's a double-edged sword going to school like that. Everyone knows it. It is what it is. Some people. Whenever I mention that I went there, it's not the first thing I tell them because I don't want them to get this image that, oh, you went to that school. That means your folks they went to that school. They come from privilege. Only rich people go to Harvard, right? Which obviously is not the case for me, right? It's not the case at all for me. So. Whenever I do disclose that, I am quick to say, yeah, I did go there, but it's not it's not the image you can conjure up. I'm not that, child of privilege. If anything, I'm the child of the most underprivileged people in the country, I would say, farm workers in this country. But it was humbling, right? It was super humbling. I never thought I'd go to that school. I didn't know what it was growing up until I came across it from that show, Arthur. I don't know if you ever saw that show. I love that show. That's when I first heard of that school, Harvard. And so it was a big transition. It wasn't necessarily my dream school. My dream school was to go to Duke University because they're the basketball program. I love their That's my team. That's my team. That's my team. And it was hard for me to say no to them whenever I had that opportunity. But yeah, it was a big undertaking. It was a big transition. And as I was telling Alexis and Irvin, I didn't immediately go there first. After high school, after I graduated as valedictorian of my high school and the first Latino valedictorian in my high school and all that jazz, because I wanted to like give back to my country for everything it gave me, you know, all these opportunities, and because like I felt indebted to my country, and also some of y'all might know like junior ROTC. I did that for 4 years, right? So I decided to go to West Point, the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, which is kind of like the Harvard of all military academies in the world. A lot of people, most people don't know it, but you know, those who know higher education, you know those who are privileged to know about these schools, you know, they know it's like a military school for folks who want to become Army officers, but you get like you get a college degree out of it. It's one of the most prestigious schools in the country, in the world. And, you know, it's right up there with like your Ivy Leagues, et cetera. And, you know, because of ROTC and because I felt like I had to get back to my country, I decided to go there first, right after high school. And I said, you know, and I had, Harvard had accepted me that year as a senior, but I was like, nah, I was like militarized into thinking this is what I should do. And so I went there, I did well, I was doing well. I was with the classes, like 1, 2, or 3 of my classes. There was a Rhodes Scholar in my class. Like, you know, I was doing a thing, but like at the end of the day, actually, one of my best friends from high school, he had passed away while I was in boot camp that summer. And so that, you know, that took a big toll in my mind. He was like a childhood friend. You know, that hit me, right? That hit me hard, like, because just a few months prior, during our senior year in high school, he was like, Eric, you don't want to go there. You're doing it. You're going there for a wrong reason. You should go to where you want to go because, you know, that's where your heart tells you. And he was right in the end, because his passing away in a car accident 2 weeks after we graduated from high school, his passing away 9 months later, it made me think, yeah, you're right, man. I'm not doing this because I want to do this. I'm doing this because I think I should do it because, like, I feel I owe this country something. And at the time, I thought, you know, the best way to give back to my country is to die for it or, you know, serve in uniform. And, you know, that wasn't right. It took me a while to think that that's not the way you should think. You should live the life you want to live. And there are other ways to give back. And so I left that school. It was the first time I ever like failed in life. But I did learn a lot of things, right? But then, yeah, I left early spring semester of my freshman year. And I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do because, yeah, I was in a bind. But fortunately, I thought quick on my feet. I said, hey, Eric, you know, you had all these schools that wanted you they accepted you last year. How about you reach out to them and say, can you give me a second chance? And so I reached out to Harvard. They gave me a second chance. I reapplied. I essentially recycled my application from my senior year. And, you know, I got accepted to the class of 2015. And it was tough. It was tough, man. Like, it was so tough. But, you know, I got through it. I graduated in 2015 with a bachelor's in neurobiology. And, you know, obviously that kind of influenced me to pursue this specialty as a neurologist.
Damn, bro. I didn't even know that was something you could do.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, me neither. I had to
like,
hustle.
whoa.
Like, I had to hustle. I was like,
yeah,
because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I said, I
Right.
reached out to them, admissions committee, and they let me reapply. And
I'm so glad you bring that up, bro, because there's a lot of people that end up in these, you know, situations that are kind of like, damn, I don't even know what advice to give you. Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like people think, damn, I fucked up. You know, I fucked up, whatever. I screwed up. But nah, I mean, like you're literally a living example of how, I guess, just don't be afraid to ask, y'all, right?
no,
Like,
yeah.
But anyways, bro, you mentioned, you know, you went to the military thing. And on Instagram, you go as Captain America.
Yeah, I mean,
does that have anything to do with
That's all where it stems from. Yeah, you know,
I
like,
see some resemblance too. I mean, I look at you, I think, you know, Captain
Oh
America,
my God.
you know, Shield and all that, you know, starring your,
chest.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
So
That's
it
where
makes
it came
sense
from.
to
That's
me.
where it came from.
You know, but yeah,
Well,
sorry,
for real
I
though?
don't
For
mean
real?
to.
Nah, yeah, dead ass. Like
Oh,
that's
really?
where I mean, I love my country.
Yeah.
I would die for almost died for this country in a way, right? I love my
America.
country. I would die for my country. I'm a proud American. It's not just a Southern in me. It's also like from my upbringing. You know,
America.
I love America, right? But I like it in a, I guess, in a progressive way, right? Not the stereotypical America, America, America way, right? As we all should. So yeah, that's where it came from, and you know, I went to the military, if you will, and then I just switched to A with an E for my first name, and that's where my username has come from.
I've never told you anything about this before, but I actually tried to sign up for like the Marines in high school instead of college,
Yeah.
but they didn't let me because I didn't have papers. But I took like the
Damn.
the exam or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
ASVAB.
But I was also on the same
Crazy.
boat. I was like, I don't have papers, but I was like, damn, like, I don't know. I also felt like I was indebted, and I was like, fuck, like, I think I would love to go to the military and do some
Yeah.
really badass shit, to be honest. I don't know. I was kind of out of my mind too. Like, I just wanted to do crazy shit. Like, I wanted to be badass.
Yeah.
Like, I always liked, I don't know, for some reason, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. But yeah, I didn't
Well,
do it.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, you know, that's an idea you had at that point. You know, obviously we're not there now, and obviously, you know, you didn't enroll into the Marines. Obviously, you know, you went to Harvard and you're a neurology doctor now, which I think our country needs both of you, right? And for anybody out there that probably is thinking military and that's the way to go for them.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably the way to go for them, right? But I think the thing is, the important thing to draw from this is that, I don't know, man, like whatever it was, that's not how it happened. And I think you guys both ended up in what I imagine to be, what I think to be your calling, right? In the end of the day. And I think that for anybody out there that thinks that, you know, this is the way to go and it doesn't happen that way, that's okay. I think that a lot of times, you know, life has a lot of surprises in store for you, and it might not be the way that you think it is initially, but it's all gonna work out. You know, and just have to kind of believe in yourself and just kind of hold that dream, right? And I think you can speak more to this, and you two have been mentioning that, right? Which I didn't know. That's breaking news to me, by the way,
Yeah, I
y'all.
didn't know that.
Damn,
I didn't know
I'm
that
still
either.
learning about this fool right now.
Yeah.
You
Sheesh,
took my username, bro.
damn.
All right. But anyways, bro, like,
Yeah.
I'm very curious, bro. Like, because when I went to college, I didn't go to Harvard, right? But at my state, it was like the best school in the state,
Yeah.
right?
Smart
But
ass fools.
Felt so out of place, bro.
Yeah.
But I can't even imagine, like, there.
Yeah.
How was it for you, bro?
Yeah, I did feel out of place. Initially, and like even like 4 years after I was done, I still kind of felt out of place. Like, you know, it's like you're always think about it and like, oh yeah, I did go there. It's crazy. It's surreal. But I mean, there were so many things that were going against me that probably also went against you and you know. So yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be placed, to be roomed with other people from similar backgrounds. They weren't brown like me, but they all kind of came from from the mud, right? Like Harvard, I guess they read our applications and said, "Hey, how about let's put these guys as roommates?" And they did a good job because I had a black brother friend who born like inner city, a classic inner city, single mom, black kid from Toledo, Ohio, who was my roommate, and now he went to Stanford for medical school, Stanford Business School, and like, you know, he's a badass, man.
Shout out Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah, like he's a badass. And then I had my other roommate who was born and raised in Kenya, like countryside, the country of Kenya. And one way or another, he found himself in the States on full scholarship and at the best university in the world.
Shout out to Kenya.
Yeah.
Damn,
So I was fortunate enough to like find community and like, with them. But even then, it was weird because like, our backgrounds were similar. We were poor, pero como like la cultura wasn't really there. And so while they were good friends of mine, it's like it was hard for me to like break in because one, there not as many Latinos as there should be at Harvard, and then two, while there was a pretty robust community there, like there is in any like higher education institution, I felt a little displaced again because of where I came from in the South. Because when I actually got to know those fools, like they're all from Los Angeles and fucking some Washington and Florida, Texas, freaking Little Village, Chicago, like all these places where people, think of where Latinos are from. And then you have this country kid from Georgia. And like, I don't know, I felt unwelcome. Not necessarily because like they didn't welcome me. It's just like, I just, didn't feel like the vibe was going to be there. But I was wrong. I was wrong. And it wasn't until like senior year, junior year of high school that I actually like got to know them. And yeah, I kind of missed out, but I established community. I broke bread with many of them, before it was too late. But yeah, like not only socially was it different for me, especially at a place like that school, the richest university in the world, where like freaking 70 overwhelming majority of people come from like the 1%. That was another thing, right? Everyone there was most of them were rich or came from privilege. And so that was tough. And then nothing against from my hometown and the good, solid public education that I got in the rural South, but it just didn't really compare to all these people that went to magnet public schools, private schools, boarding schools that perpetually produce kids that go to these schools, to these colleges. So it was tough, but I got through with some help from friends that came from similar strings as me, and then eventually I made community with the Latinos in my class.
That's a trip, bro. Because I remember when I got to my college too, like I saw that people would go to these high schools that like since they started high school, like they were just getting prepped to go to university.
Yeah.
And some of them would be like telling me like, yo, my high school was harder than this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally dying right now. Like I'm drowning right now. Like, and I can't even imagine what it would be like in Harvard, bro. But damn. Anyways, yo, hella off topic, bro. But do you listen to country?
I do. I do. I fuck with some country music. Like, I mean, I'm from the South. That's the reason why I like country. As I was telling Alexis and you, like my friend group, because I was in like the smart classes, most of the people there were white, despite half the town being black. Almost all of the gifted classes were white, and at the time I thought they were really smart as fuck, and they are. But then as I got to get to know life, it was more because like they come from privilege. That's like all it really
smart.
is.
There's a huge difference between like book smart and just like
privilege smart.
Yeah, and also like I guess just knowing like being knowledgeable about life stuff and you know what I mean, and being wise and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But damn.
But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I love country, man. Like Luke Bryan, fucking Chris Stapleton, and
shout
all
out
these.
Luke Bryan.
I want my mullet back.
Yeah, I love country.
That's the only song I got.
But I do listen to like
a little bit of chicken fried, and cold beer on Friday night.
Zach Brown band, I love that song, man.
Yeah, damn. Hey, shout out. Not many country folk in Harvard, huh?
Yeah.
It's always gonna be an uphill battle, and no matter something when you have to do.
Damn, bro, you listen to country too. Hey, they listen to
Montana.
Kane Brown. He's like doing collabs with everyone. It's great.
Hey,
we welcome any country fanatics out there to sponsor this podcast because we also very much love country in this in this realm.
Yeah, they're damn, bro. Country and South Central, bro. Like it goes a long way.
You can make a brand for yourself. You can make a brand.
You should be the first ever.
The what is it? The collab, the mixture, whatever you never knew you needed. Country and South Central LA. You know what I mean?
The first ever emerging artist from South Central to do country, y'all. Right here, y'all.
I'm for it, man.
Exactly. It's always gonna be an uphill. I could keep going and going. You know, don't get me started, y'all.
You know that one song? It's like
This one.
Which
God's
one?
Country.
Wait, which one? Cross country?
No, there's like this. It's like super country song. It's like God's Country. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, bro, you're from God's Country.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
from God's
you're
country,
from-
from Georgia. Empire State of the South.
Look, bro, I never leave South Central. The first time I left South Central, I was scared. Okay.
Yeah, I remember, bro. We went to SF one day, bro. This guy was scared. We saw a fucking cloud. Remember?
I never left the hood, bro. Yeah, I saw a cloud.
There was
and
a
I was
big ass
freaking
cloud
out.
in San Francisco.
Clowns fucking scare me.
No, cloud. Nube.
Cloud. Oh, Lupe. The cloud scared me too.
We were driving to San Francisco, and there was a cloud there, and Alexis like, "Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about? What the fuck is that? What the fuck?" And he was like, hella fucking amazed. And I was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" And I was like, kind of tripping out. I was like, "Yo, is something going on? Like, I don't know. I'm not seeing this." He was like, "That thing right there." And I was like, "The fucking cloud?" He's like, "Yeah, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a fucking
there ain't
cloud,
no
bro."
cloud. Like,
Y'all
what
don't
the
have clouds in South Central?
I mean, we do, bro, but they're like up there. You know what I mean? Like you don't like drive into it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
You don't-
about. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that is tripping.
I was on my
fucking
seat,
cloud.
like,
That is tripping,
what are
man.
we like? What's
is
going
trippy.
on right now?
But anyway, I think you told us that was like the second time you left South Central or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And
But-
the other time was like Vegas or something.
yeah, exactly.
Just
So
as many clouds.
anyways, bro, I don't mean to be like very like ignorant about like different parts of the country, you know.
No.
But I definitely don't consider myself, you know, like expert in geography and things like that. You know, I know South Central LA. I could talk to you as far up as like Palmdale, Lancaster, maybe south as like, you know, Tijuana. But that's all I got, fool.
Hong Kong.
You know. Wait, what was that?
Comida China.
What do you mean? Hong Kong?
Yeah, comida China.
What is that?
It's comida China. You ever had like Panda Express?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been as far as Panda Express.
Yeah,
so-
okay. fair enough.
But you know,
Comida
like
China.
I know about, like, I've heard about the South. I've heard about Georgia, obviously, and mostly because I'm a huge sports fan.
Oh, yeah, go
Right,
Dogs.
so like for me, obviously I root Pac-12, which unfortunately
Go
there's
Dogs.
some, I don't know what's going on with the Pac-12, but you know when you talk about the
Two-time
South and you talk about the
national champ.
SEC and
Hell
you talk
yeah.
about all that, which
Oh, yeah.
by the way, this year it was UW versus.
Oh, I know. I was so
yeah.
fucking mad, bro. Y'all knocked
Yeah.
us out. Like, right?
Yeah. I think you guys were ranked like 5th or something.
Yeah, man.
So Michigan
But
took it this
Georgia,
year.
I think
I
Georgia
was so
was.
pissed, man.
I think Georgia
We
was so
should- we
fucking good.
Yo, we should have been in the Final Four, man. But,
Yeah,
you know,
Georgia's
honestly,
really
though,
fucking good.
yeah,
Y'all destroyed
whatever,
like
man.
the was it Florida or something?
Yeah. No, we should have been in the Final Four.
But I think this year, I mean, I guess it's in the Sports Park podcast, but I think they're changing it up this year. I mean, they are.
it's gonna
the
be
playoffs
12
is different,
12
so I
people,
think it's gonna
12
be more fair.
Well, UW is now actually in the Big 12.
yeah, which is
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
no sense. It
And
makes no
it
sense.
doesn't. And UCLA, which I'm a huge fan of, USC is in the Big 10, but that doesn't matter. We're not a sport podcast. But I have heard of the South and different parts of the country because of sports. You know,
Yeah.
because of colleges
Damn
and
good
stuff like
football.
Yeah,
that, football and stuff like
No.
that, right?
best football in the country.
Damn.
Unfortunately, man. Damn.
Oh, dogs.
other-
Not those dogs, but you know this dog.
my-
Georgia
dogs too?
dogs. Yeah, we're Georgia Bulldogs.
You a dog?
What's that?
You a dog?
I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
You're a perro.
Talking about
hate you, eh?
talking about dogs, roof.
Dogs.
Speaking of dogs, I was in Las Perlas the other day, and I saw a dog like walking in the
Love
front.
Las Perlas, man.
Wait, do you?
Yeah.
You heard Las Perlas?
Yeah, I've been there like 5 times, 6, 7, 8 times.
Bro,
Las Perlas comes up once again, y'all.
Bro,
We're
I
not trying
love
to do
Las
this. I
Perlas.
don't
Me
know.
and my roommate, shout out to my roommate Walter Solorza. He's also a food medicine. He just finished his internal medicine residency at
Shout out
UCLA.
to Walter.
Damn, shout out Walter.
Yeah, I mean, like we go there every now and then.
Walter White, y'all.
I love, I love Las Perlas. But yeah,
Damn. Well, bro, speaking about like Las Perlas, having fun and all that, right? And making sure you have fun while you're obviously a doctor and you found balance, right?
Yeah.
I want to hear more about your story after Harvard, right? Medical school and that such. People out there might be relating to you already, right? How was your journey after Harvard University and then going into medical school? Where'd you go and that such?
Yeah. So I took a couple years off. You know, it's getting more and more common. It has gotten more and more common for people to take gap years. I took 2 gap years because
Which this fool calls them enrichment years. He put me on that.
I like that. That's enrichment years.
Or fuck off years. Nah, just kidding.
I mean, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I had a great time during my gap years. So I took 2 years off to study for the MCAT because that shit's no joke.
Yeah.
Study for the MCAT. Treat it like a job, a full-time job.
Absolutely.
Please, because that makes or breaks you essentially. So I studied for the MCAT. I worked as a pharmacy tech in my hometown for like a few months, and then I took the MCAT. Could have done better, but I did it good enough. And then I spent a year in 2016, about a year in Colombia, in Medellin, Colombia, and that was so much fun.
Hijo de- For
Yeah,
real?
exactly. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, and Medallo, you know, like the song, like, you know.
You were there for a whole year?
I was there for 11 months.
Plato plomo?
Plato plomo, man. They don't like that. They don't like that, bro.
You don't like it?
They don't like it, bro. They don't like the references to Pablo Escobar.
Oh, they don't like.
They don't like that. They don't like it. But yes.
Why?
Plata o plomo.
How do you know? Like, do you have an
What do you
experience
mean?
with it? Or?
No, but like they just don't want to be associated with.
Wait, what are
Pablo
you talking
Escobar.
about though? Those were just random things that came to my mind.
But I guess like, did
don't know
the
what you're talking
locals
about.
tell you about that or?
No, I just like the locals. Yeah, the locals told me.
They were like, you brought it up.
Well,
and you're
no, bro,
like,
I'm not gonna
"Plata
go to
plomo."
Medellin.
I didn't bring it up.
Did you do that?
No, hell
Bro, I'm not
no.
gonna go.
Hell no.
He walked into
Hell.
Colombia. He's like, hey, Plata plomo.
No, he landed in Medellin and was like, Plata plomo. Of course, bro. Yeah.
No, but
No, I
what
didn't do
happened?
that.
You
What
did
they
that,
tell
huh?
you? What did they
No,
tell
I
you?
didn't do that. I didn't do that.
What did they tell you?
I didn't do that, so it didn't tell me nothing. But I just know that the locals don't like that.
Okay. So, anyways, bro, what were you doing in Colombia?
So I got this fellowship through. It's called the Princeton Latin America Fellowship, and like essentially, I was like a teaching assistant for like little underprivileged kids in the outskirts of Medellin. And yeah, I helped to like teach them
Man,
a thing
that's
or two,
amazing.
about
Hey,
You
all
know,
jokes aside
reading,
though, shout out
writing.
to Colombia and shout out everybody from there.
Shout out to Carol G.
Carol G?
Carol
She's from
G.
Colombia, right?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they just lost in the finals of the
Oh yeah,
Copa America.
ni modo.
Pero Colombia is up, man.
Yeah.
Rooting for Colombia right here. That's what's up, bro. That's
Yeah, I was there
crazy.
for a
So you
year.
did that in 2016.
2016.
Okay.
I went back home for about 6 months.
You gave them a Harvard education.
I did.
Damn.
I did. I mean, that's one way to put it. No. Like, I had a good time outside of work, pero también, like, these kids were like, they're like former child soldiers. Like, they went through some shit. They were like adolescents, but, you know, the kids I was working with, they were adolescents, pero como before that, like, they were like in the countryside and the guerrillas and whatnot. So it was, yeah, these kids were scarred, man, but they had been deprived of, like, you know, their former years of education, so it was some rewarding work. It was rewarding work.
Wow.
But, you know, I made time for fun. I got to know the country,
Yeah.
went to the clubs and whatnot. It was a good time.
Hey, shout out to you for that, bro.
What's the name of the place in Medellin?
Which one?
The one with the song named after it by... it'll come back to me.
What's over there?
If you remember it, just let us know.
No, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm really interested in your journey. So 2 gap years, 2016, you went to Colombia for this very
Yeah.
amazing experience.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
Then I went to the Medical College of Georgia in my home state of Georgia.
Shout out MCW.
MCG.
MCG, my bad.
Yeah. But
Georgia. Where am I getting W
there
from?
is an MCW,
Though
Medical
Wisconsin-
College of
yeah.
Wisconsin. That's where
I'm
Christian
confusing it
went.
because that's where I got accepted. That's where homie Christian
That's
went,
where
which, by
Christian
the way,
went,
we
right?
might...
Christian,
EM.
EM, bro.
MCG.
Yes.
Medical
Christian
College
went
of
to
Georgia.
MC Wisconsin. I went to MC Georgia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
right.
so
Yo,
sorry.
yo, gotta get
Yeah.
Christian on
Compa
here.
Wisconsin,
I'm so
bro.
sorry.
Shout out to Compa Wisconsin.
Y'all got to get
bro.
Christian in here.
So
but-
we're speaking for those of you guys who don't know. We're talking about there's an emergency medicine doctor who's a resident who is the homie. And this goes to speak to the fact that, bro, there's like none of us. Like, there's so
Literally,
little
I was-
Latinos here
literally.
that, like, we know them all. You know?
Yeah.
But
Like,
shout out to the homie. We should get him soon because he's another badass, just like this fool.
if you guys know this guy, he's very distinguishable, y'all. He has a little
There
bigote.
you go.
Yeah, the
Everybody knows each other, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
little
crazy.
bigote.
Yeah.
So
Wisconsin.
MCG, let's get that
Georgia,
right. MC Georgia.
MC Georgia.
Yes, sir.
It was a great time. It was a good time. Going into MCG, my medical school years in 2017, in the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to do neurology, right? Pero, I almost did EM. If I would have done my emergency medicine clerkship sooner, before I submitted my residency applications, I think I would have done emergency medicine, which is what you want to do. But that's not to say that what I'm doing right now isn't important. I like what I do. But yeah, I was torn between neurology or internal medicine, which is kind of a common fork in the road. But in the end, I kind of stuck to what my passion has always been about. And, it's the brain, right?
What do you like about neurology?
That shit's hard. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's difficult. Like the substance is very challenging, right? Because we know all about the heart. It just pumps blood, right? We know all about the liver. We know all about the liver. It like cleanses out, detoxifies the body, right? We know all about the gut. Produces caca. We know all about the skin, right? But we don't know a whole lot about the brain yet. And so that's like where the critical thinking, like the thinking comes in. And that's for a lot of these patients, that's what you got to do, right? Because a lot of the treatment, the management is dictated by like where the disease process is. And that's that's your job to figure out where the localization is, right? You've heard that word, right? And so yeah, it's challenging. And also there are not a lot of Latinos in neurology. That's another big thing. And then, I love the disease processes that I see. Strokes, seizures, dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Like you see a wide range of all these disease processes, affect every age group. Mm-hmm. And so it's some cool stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of treatment, that's left to do. There's, I would say is like the last frontier, the brain is. And so that's another reason why I kind of wanted this challenge. And it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge, but I'm happy to be stepping up to that challenge.
You know what, bro? I hate to put you on the spot, but okay. So a 75-year-old female presents with left-sided lower leg weakness and left-sided upper extremity weakness. Where is the lesion located?
Probably. That's kind of straightforward. It's probably on the contralateral side, maybe the motor cortex all the way down to the internal capsule, all the way down to like maybe the thalamus, and then you're getting into the brain stem, maybe the belly.
Yeah, so I wasn't trying to trick him or anything, but I just wanted to show you guys
you have
how
to
fucking cool neurology is.
It can be anywhere along like the cortical spinal tract.
And this is what he was referring to when he was referring, about like localization and stuff. It's like based off someone's symptoms, you can be like, okay, this is coming from this side of the brain. This is this artery, whatever, like likely a stroke in this artery or whatever. And it's so cool. And honestly, I really enjoy learning it. So it's
I
dope
had a
stuff.
great time on neurology rotation as well.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah. Should do it.
I like emergency medicine a lot.
Nah, I don't blame you. I think I would have liked it too, but
yeah. But I do really like neurology. Honestly.
Yeah,
it's super
dope.
cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I agree.
And I remember I talked to this guy who was like a medical geneticist one time, and he was telling me like genetics, and so basically like the topic of genetics and neuro are like the growing thing, right? Like we know so little of it, and it's such a fast growing thing that we're like learning so many new things versus like our stuff. We kind of already know how it works. Like you said, it's been established for a long time. But obviously, there's still new research. But like brain stuff and genetic stuff is like, damn, we don't know much.
Yeah.
So it's cool stuff. But I guess how has that been though? Like how has so he's a resident, right? You're in your what year?
Yeah, I'm a resident, and I'm in my third year of 4 years, adult neurology. It's 4 years in duration, right? The first year, most people do in an internal medicine year because you have to do you got to know basic medicine diseases like, cardio, COPD, and like how to treat heart failure and things like that. Bread and butter kind of stuff that anyone should kind of be familiar with. So we do 1 year of internal medicine, and then your next 3 years is neurology, right? It's been, yeah, and I'm in my third year, so I'm taking on more of a leadership role. I'm starting to take on like being a senior of a team and whatnot, which comes with its own challenges. We don't have to do like the scut work all that much, pero también, like whatever goes wrong or whatever goes right, like I guess the senior, well, really it's the attending, pero también the senior is like the one who's held accountable, right? So you're like in charge of your junior residents. And so that's the growing pain that I'm having right now. But in reality, all of residency, as you guys will see, and as my fellow resident colleagues that are listening, all of residency is challenging, right? So it's been challenging, for sure. It's been very challenging. I did my intern year here at UCLA with like the internal medicine colleagues at UCLA, and that's where I got to know my roommate, Walter, again, shout out to Walter. He's an internal medicine resident. He just finished his residency. I got to know him well, and now we're roommates, obviously. But yeah, the second year of my residency is also like an intern year, but in neurology. So you have to learn everything. You have to learn the basics of neurology. And second year is usually the toughest year in neurology. And so it was difficult. It was tough.
So what makes it tough? I think a lot of us or a lot of people who haven't gone through residency don't really understand what it actually means. In fact, like I think there's some misconceptions about it because we've gotten messages ourselves that are like, oh, residents don't even do anything, like blah, 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 like they're not allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
But I, as rotating medical students, we see what they do, Obviously we don't understand it yet, but that's definitely not true. So I think that kind of goes to show that I think the general population might not exactly know what being a resident is. So like, what makes it hard, man? And what does it mean to be a resident?
For sure. So, well, one, like, medical school, you're supposed to learn everything in medical school, right? Pero, once you actually have to apply it to patients' lives, it takes on a deeper meaning, right? It's not, the thing about residency is that you're not doing it for the grade now. You're doing it for patient care. You're doing it for patients' lives, right? It's, to some degree, lives on the line, not your GPA, not your test score on the line, right? No, they're patients on the line, right? So that's an added pressure that kind of is a cloud over you. It forces you in a good way and a bad way to push you as much as possible. Two, it's that, for me in particular, sometimes, I wanted to come to UCLA. I did. It was my second choice. I wanted to be closer to home, I would admit. I wanted to go to Emory for residency in Atlanta, but again, my family's close by, right? Pero it didn't happen, and I went to UCLA, which was my number 2 choice. Having the time of my life here. But another reason what makes residency hard, sometimes you don't match where you want to be. Sometimes you don't match at the choice, the residency program where you want to be. Sometimes you go to somewhere you don't want to go, and that can sometimes mean leaving your family, moving away from your loved ones, your community, etc. So that's another factor, getting to know a new community, a new city, a new environment. It's 2. 3, sometimes you have to learn, you have to learn how the hospital system works. That's a big thing, like how the hospital works, etc. And then the bane of all our existence is learning how an EMR works, like electronic medical record, or the chart, right? Your medical record. That's a big learning curve, like learning how that works. That's like half the struggle early on during residency. And then obviously everyone's kind of heard of the long hours, right? So that's probably what really kind of chips away at your longevity, right? It's that's what kind of chips away on your longevity. It's like the long hours. And it varies per service, right? But sometimes you have to get up early, dawn in the morning, so you can pre-round and round, be prepared for rounds. do all these things. Like you're getting pages by nurses and staff, and patients want you to come back to see them. There's family members that didn't make it to round, so you have to go back and, update the family members. And then you have new patients that are coming, joining, you're responsible for stroke codes, right, that mess up your routine. And then at the end of the day, or if you haven't gotten your notes done, your documentation, then you have to work on documentation, because like that's what that's what people at the hospitals bill for. So it's all these little things that occur throughout the end of the day that people don't really think about. Yeah, if you're admitted to a hospital, you probably only see a doctor maybe 10 minutes max, right? But there's a whole lot that goes behind that in preparation for those 10 minutes of FaceTime with the patients. And I think that's what people don't often see, is like all the behind the scenes stuff that happens. And then, I mean, not only that, pero también like every 2 weeks or so, at least in neurology, we do new rotations, right? We start new rotations. For example, I'm on stroke for 2 weeks, and then I'm on general neurology for 2 weeks, and then I'm on the epilepsy team for 2 weeks, and then you're outside, or not outside, but in clinic for 2 weeks. Like, you change so much. Your environment changes so much, just like your patients change almost every day. And like even like your team changes, right? Your attending switches off, your boss switches off every 2 weeks. You get new medical students like every 3 or 4 weeks, so you got to teach them how things work. And then there's just so many moving pieces. There's no consistency. And so like when you see a doctor in the clinic setting, you're like, why don't you know how this place works? Isn't this your office? No, you're like, I'm only there for like half a day once a year. Like, so you got to learn how each environment you're thrown into works on the spot. So that the big thing that residency has taught me that, you guys will have to learn is how to adapt every day to new environments, whether that be new team members, new co-residents, new med students, new patients, new attendings, how they work things, new buildings, new hospitals, new EMRs. You have to be ready, learn how to adapt like every day. And for you especially, you're doing something like kind of high octane in emergency medicine, that you're going to have to like learn how to adapt really quick. So just a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't think of. It's kind of like, it's not really like your Grey's Anatomy, right? You write notes at the end of the day. Grey's Anatomy, they don't, I never have seen them write notes on the chart, writing documents and things. It's not like that at all. But the first few months, first year, it's challenging, a lot of new stuff. But now that I've learned a little bit of neurology, I'm starting to see the beauty of it. But even now that I'm taking on a senior role, it's like, now I got to learn how to be a good leader, right?
Yeah.
Now I got to make sure like my juniors are getting shit done, but also like that they're not, burning out, right? Yeah. So it's a balance.
And right before we started and stuff, you were telling us a little bit about kind of like your week or your past couple of weeks. You want to maybe tell the audience, like, how has it been, man? Like, how was this week or the last week?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like the past month and a half has probably been one of the toughest in my residency. I've averaged like 90 hours a week, maybe like the past 4 weeks on average.
90 hours.
Yeah, and
in
like
1 week.
And I'm just neurology, and I say that humbly because I know, as you probably have heard, like my surgery co-residents, my neurosurgery co-residents, I mean, they're working like at least 100 a week,
So if you're working 90 hours, like what time do you get in? What time do you leave? Like, how does that work?
Whenever the job's done.
So what's like your routine? Like, what, you wake up and you're like, all right, I'm going to the hospital at like 6 a.m.
I mean, as early as you need to like be ready for rounds. And, sometimes you're on call. Like, for example, like every few days, this past 2 weeks, I was on call. I could go home, pero también, like my pager was going off every other hour. And I was on pediatric neurology, so like I had to deal with parents calling me saying, hey, my kid's sick, or what do I do? Hey, I need a refill for my kid. And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, Pero, that's part of it. So not only is your sleep interrupted when you're on call, pero también in some rotations, you got to go back into work the next day, even though you didn't get that much sleep. So it makes it difficult. Every program has their different challenges, but that's for the most part kind of everything that kind of makes residency difficult. The fact that your sleep schedule is not what it used to be. You know?
Yeah.
My bad. Do you ever? So I think some people probably have this question.
Yeah.
Do you ever sleep at the hospital?
Oh yeah, I sleep. No, well, in my residency program, I love the call rooms. Like my reasoning is, I mean, I don't live too far away from UCLA Medical Center,
Yeah.
or the VA Medical Center. I work at 3 different hospitals, right? I don't live too far away from those two hospitals, but I sleep in the call rooms all the time. I love the call rooms. Why?
They're
Because
nice, bro.
they're nice. There's one. They're nice. They're quiet. You also see other residents like going through a struggle, so you're like, you're not the only one
You like
struggling
say
there.
what's up to your like neighbors and stuff?
Yeah. Things like that, and like everyone's kind of you see everyone working, so that motivates you to work, right? You know, but also like
Oh, this fool got up at 5. Hell no, I'm getting up at 4:30.
yeah, exactly, yeah, or 4 o'clock, man. Like no, pero
Built
like
different.
yeah, yeah, pero like another thing to me, I'm like pragmatic, like.
Damn.
All right. I could use this extra hour of sleep that I used to go home and come back and shower and and prepare at home. You know, that entire commute, walk from the parking lot to get to my desk at the hospital, it's like at least an hour. I can use that extra hour. I could use that extra hour by sleeping in a call room. And for me, sleep is important. I'm not one of those 4 or 5 hour night guys. I need like 6 or 7 hours.
No,
you know?
keep it real, bro. Sleep is very important.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, exactly. And you know this more as an actual doctor and as a resident, you know, and I think that when I sleep more, I just feel better. That's just a simple fact. Like, I'm not even talking about like crazy stuff. Like, I sleep more, I feel better. I'm more productive throughout the day, right? So sleep just tells us that's important. I've slept in the call room once. I was an IM. And I one of the
UCLA or
nights at
somewhere else?
UCLA at Reagan.
Nice. Yeah, they're nice.
I had the
Basement, right?
curiosity to check them out. Exactly. I
Hey,
went to the
shout out.
basement, bro, and I walked through them. Right. You see the signs on the door, right?
Yeah.
All right, neurology. All right, psychiatry, whatever. All right, orthopedic surgery and or plastic surgery and whatever, neurosurgery, whatever. Med student, all the way in the back corner. But then I found it.
Really? I've never
something.
seen it, but yeah.
You never seen it.
I think
Damn.
it's like one room.
We have a room, bro. It's in the
one.
back corner. It's dusty, but you know we have one, and then I slept on that.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, never mind.
But I was walking through there, bro, and I was like seeing some of these rooms, and I was walking through, you know, like damn, like people have stuff in here, like some of them rooms damn near look like people lived in there.
Oh, bro.
The orthopedic room, they have like a skeleton, you know, it's really
Yeah,
nice.
there's the pull-up bar and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember, bro. I remember walking by. There's a specific room there. It's one of the surgeries, and I was like you said, bro. This looks like a fucking dorm room. Like there's like a fucking PlayStation in there or something. Like and like posters and stuff. And I was like, yo. I honestly, I kind of like. I was like, damn. I kind of feel bad for them, but then at the same time, it's like they probably love this. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to everybody in surgery.
They're the
I
ones
mean,
keeping
that's
us healthy, or I mean,
Yeah.
not necessarily, but fixing us, I guess. You know, they're fixing us when we screw up, and they gotta like carve us and stuff. But
I mean, not necessarily screw up, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of pathologies out there that could be worked on through
Yeah,
surgery,
true,
right?
true. Mm-hmm.
So, surgeons out there, man, shout out to y'all. Anybody interested in surgery, shout out to you. I mean, we need surgeons. I mean, that's really how it is, right? We need us in everything.
How was your experience sleeping in the car room, bro?
I like it, man. I mean, the basement call rooms at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, they're dark.
I couldn't sleep that night.
I need light. You know, I don't need light.
I couldn't.
What happened?
I was just not used to it.
Yeah.
I heard there's
it was
a
changes.
ghost. There's a ghost in the.
I heard there's a rumor. There's a ghost
El
on there.
cucuy.
That's what they told me, bro. I heard that there's a ghost on there.
I slept there once, bro, and damn, I was hearing stuff.
You tripping?
Wait, you sure?
You tripping?
What did it sound like?
La Llorona, bro. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like. Never mind. All right. Anyways,
Hey, shout out to melatonin, y'all. Shout
Yeah,
out to melatonin,
no,
y'all.
but- yeah.
Sponsor
Do you ever use
us.
it? It makes you groggy. That's why I don't use it, man. Like,
yeah, I stopped
It makes
using
you
it, bro. I
groggy.
used to use it a lot.
I
stopped
took a lot
using it.
last night. But
Bro, but
damn.
Eric,
Yep.
look, you've obviously spoken to us for a while, and you're super, super, super inspiring, bro. And honestly, just hearing you, man, it really excites me for the future of neurology and just for all the patients you will see in the future. right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been recognized for this stuff because you have a very amazing story.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
actually have articles, because I know that because I've looked you up myself. I've seen you in videos. You've been on Univision, bro. You've been in a damn White House. Tell us,
My mom, not me.
your mom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love my mom.
Yeah, shout out to your mom. Shout out tía. Tía, estoy orgulloso de su hijo. Si nos está mirando. Bro, I'm really proud of you. What was your experience? What has been your experience like with the media stuff that you've dealt with, throughout your career, and obviously like just being recognized for obviously the amazing work that you've done.
It's great. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of myself. In a weird way, I do I'll take it in a good way, but like, that Snoop Dogg clip where he's like, proud of me for doing for all the hard work. Yeah. Proud of me for.
I haven't seen it to be honest, but
I want to thank me. Yeah.
Okay.
And in a way, I feel like I'm proud of myself for doing that. I never thought I'd get to this point. I'd never get that much recognition, and I'm even more proud that I did that porque it also made me recognize. It cast a spotlight on my parents, and honestly, they're the ones who deserve all the spotlight. Through those avenues, through Univision, Telemundo, etc., Video Now, whatever, I didn't hesitate to cast a light on my parents for what they've done, right? And that's all I want to do for them. That's a big reason as to why I went down this path. Not just to uplift my family, try to create generational wealth, right? But just to simply say thank you to my folks, right? And I'm sure they're proud of me regardless of whatever recognition I get. But my parents deserve a lot more than what I'm giving them, right? My parents deserve a nice house. They deserve a nice car, which I hope to do at some point when I start making some money. But at the very least, if I'm going to be on Univision, they need to be on Univision too. Because that's what they grew up, that's what they had on TV, like fucking Jorge Ramos and all that junk. I met them. I introduced my parents to them when he went to speak to Harvard Latino graduation. It was like, wow, my parents are meeting the guy that they grew up watching on Noticiero Univision. It's like great.
He's like the expert in like a lot of like political stuff
and
all these things. Yeah. He's the guy.
Yeah. So it's been humbling, and there's also another personal incentive that I want to do this for, not just to kind of in your way, like to help inspire other little fools that may be watching. Mm-hmm. A big reason why, but also because I do somewhere down the road, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I do want to go into public service, run for office, some kind of office, whether it be local,
I'd vote for you, fool.
States, or national. Obviously, I'll start off local. I do want to run for office, and for all the right reasons.
Give him your pitch. Vote for Dr. Eric Juarez right now.
Yes.
Whenever he runs, we're gonna repost this because we support him, and you have my vote, bro.
2050.
Let's do it.
That's what we're gonna do.
I didn't mean to
start a pact. Yeah.
But I'm serious, bro. You have my support.
That's everyone's aspiration, but
take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
But you think you're not opposed to it?
No, not at all.
Damn.
You should run for president. Huh?
I can't. I don't have papers.
Oh, fair enough. Well, then Alexis.
I'll run for the mayor of South Central.
Fair enough.
No, we're in the district. No, we have a mayor in LA. Not South Central.
Yeah, Karen Bass.
Damn, that's
shout out.
cool, bro. You know what? That'd be dope. That'd be
dope.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're still around that time, and we can, endorse you or whatever.
Bro. That's another reason why I'm here. I'm trying to
start that political career.
Starting his campaign now, y'all.
Right now.
Well, look, bro, we're super proud of you, man.
Yep.
Everything that you've done. That's why we have you here, because you're super inspiring, and Irvin and I were super excited to just speak to you and just have this conversation and hear your story and talk more about it so that our audience can hear and listen to this and be inspired. Because, bro, we have high schoolers out there watching this. We have career changers out there watching this. We have an array of an audience, and we love that. And honestly, like, we wanted to bring you out here to share that. We're proud of you, bro. I'm super proud of you, and coming from the South, like, it's different, like you mentioned, right? I grew up in South Central, very like, inner city stuff. You don't hear a lot about what happens in outside of that. At least I didn't. And then I come to UCLA, this big university where I meet a lot of sick ass fools like Irvin, coming from Washington, the homie coming from Georgia, and it amazes me,
Yeah.
And I wanted you to just share that, man. And Irvin and I both talked about this, and when we were talking about people to bring on this, you were someone that, boom, let's bring the homie Eric up.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, everything Alexis said, man, like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, seriously. And also, like, keep in mind, bro, like, me and Alexis are starting to realize this, but, we have in a way, bro, we kind of hold this responsibility, bro, because we're the future, man. Like, all of us here, and, like, you sharing your story here, like, you're paving the way for other people, man. Like, seriously. Like, I'm sure, like, I mean, if it's cool with you or anything, or, whatever. But, like, at some point, me and Alexis might be reaching out to you for help on, like, navigating the residency system and stuff, So, like, you're literally paving the way, bro. Like, you really are, man. Like, and then sharing your story and everything, like, that's doing that even more, So, shout out to you for that, bro. But is there anything you want to share? Like, anything at all, bro, that you want to tell the homies out there, like, listening to this?
Yeah. Like, I always, like, I'm kind of used to this question, and I almost always, like, try to end up in interviews like this with a thing or a phrase that my dad always told me whenever he sent me off to school and in the school bus from the farm worker camp. And he still says that to this day, I'm sure, like, especially it's very pervasive in Mexican culture, probably outside other parts of Latin America. Pero, like, my dad has always told me to échale ganas, right? Like, again, he's got a first grade education, doesn't know a whole lot about the world outside of, what he's seen in life. Pero there's one thing that a big thing that he did very well that I hope to do to emulate whenever I'm in his position, and hopefully as a father someday, is to remind my children or remind like the people who look up to me to, just keep on trying, do your best in whatever you want to do, whether that may be medicine or whether that may be, sports or soccer or whatever. Pero hay que echarle ganas, right? So, I can continue on counseling people and saying other inspirational stuff, but it also kind of sums up to those two words, is to hay que echarle ganas.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. And I know a lot of us resonate with that. Literally, I haven't talked to my mom in a while, and I called her like earlier today, and
Yeah.
she ended the conversation with echarle ganas. And honestly, like, damn, I don't know why, but like going through hard times and hearing that, like, I don't know why, man. It's super inspirational. I know a lot of people relate to that. So thank you for sharing.
We're super proud of you, bro. I'm super happy that we had this conversation with you. I'm sure your parents are super proud of you, as much as we all are. Shout out to all the parents out there, and we get a lot of parents that come up to us and support us, and we love you all, and thank you for supporting your kids, and thank you for just allowing them to dream, to become damn, and you guys are watching.
I love that. Whoa.
I'm sure you guys are watching this on the screen as we're laughing about this. Captain America.
I can't even see, bro. I don't have my glasses.
All right, Irvin is definitely Iron Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can see that. You're the hope, right? You're the big
Hey,
fool,
you know
right?
what my secret is, fool? I'm always angry. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, I love this, guys. That's
That is nice.
we are the Avengers. No, but seriously, like,
Yeah.
I see you, bro, as a Captain America, as an Avenger, as the American dream, as what our parents coming to this country has become for us and allowed us to do what we're doing now and giving us this opportunity. Like all of us here and the homies standing behind this camera. And by the way, shout out to one of the homies here. We have our first ever live live audience, which I think we'd have on our podcast at some point, doctorate in education. We don't want to put you on blast, bro, because they don't. But it's super inspiring to have people like this here, and bro, like this is why our parents came here to have us sit in a room and UCLA housing, whatever it could be, Harvard housing, whatever the case may be, and we're doing our thing. Thank you, bro. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for sharing those words, and I'm super happy that we had you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, dog.
And make sure to subscribe, y'all. Thank you guys for listening. If
Peace.
you made it this far, huge shout out to you. Shout out to Perlas once again. And
We're going there after. If you want to know what we're doing, find us there. Subscribe, comment, like. Shout out SCLA Clips, 911. Shout out South Central. Shout out the Valley. Shout out Georgia. We out.
Foods and medicine, baby.